And to discuss where Turkey's e-commerce industry is headed, joining me from Istanbul is Emre Ekmekci. He is the president of the Turkish E-Commerce Association. And from Geneva, Michael Wade. He is a professor of innovation and strategy at IMD and the Cisco chair in digital business transformation. Gentlemen, a warm welcome. So Emre, what do you make of the Turkish online shopping platform Hepsi Burada's listing on the NASDAQ, and how significant it is both for Turkish and foreign online platforms?
Well, personally, as a former Hepsi Burada executive, I'm very proud. But what's more important is it is the first time ever a Turkish company, whether it's e-commerce or not, doesn't matter, has been listed on the NASDAQ platform, and at a significant valuation to almost $4 billion it's now trading at. And this shows that the Turkish e-commerce market itself has a very big potential, and also it has, with some other e-commerce platforms as well, it also, the market actually can create many unicorns off of Turkey.
So, Michael, how has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted the both Turkish and other e-commerce platforms' operations worldwide?
Well, no surprise, we've seen a massive increase in e-commerce activity since the beginning of the pandemic. This is a global phenomenon, and I think it's probably accelerated it to an extent that it's going to keep going. I don't think there's any suggestion that it's going to decrease. So I think it's good times ahead for e-commerce, although I think the whole e-commerce industry is going to have to reinvent itself to become more interesting and more exciting. It's, frankly speaking, becoming a little bit boring.
So do you believe that this upward trend is sustainable even after the pandemic?
I do, because I think people are getting used to new behaviors, and many of those new behaviors are doing business online, either for individuals or for businesses. And we're seeing a lot of innovation in the space, which is breathing some new life into e-commerce.
So, Emre, some food delivery veterans have warned that these rapid delivery businesses are unprofitable in the long term. Other than that, other than the pandemic, let's say, can you touch on the risks the industry faces?
Well, I think the biggest risk right now is unprofitable growth, right? Like you said, some of the food delivery companies, supermarket delivery companies, from a unit economics perspective, is still unprofitable. And from usually when the growth comes in, they are expected to be profitable. It is a real. It is basically capture the market, capture the heart of the consumer, then try to upsell them with more services, and that's what everybody's betting on right now.
So, Michael, where does Turkey's e-commerce industry stand when compared to Europe, and what are the challenges before this industry?
Well, you could maybe say that the e-commerce market in Turkey was a bit of a slow starter compared with some other countries in Europe, but it's really accelerated recently. The growth in e-commerce in Turkey is much higher than in many parts of Europe and indeed the rest of the world. So I think there's a good potential for growth in e-commerce in Turkey in the future.
So, Emre, do you believe that Turkey stands below its European likes, and because of lack of well-developed physical and digital banking infrastructure? Is that true?
Well, on the contrary, Turkey has one of the most developed payment systems around the world, actually, because our banks have heavily invested in this, and the market has also been deregulated, so there's a lot of room for new fintechs to come up, and there has been investment into the market related to that as well. And also from a delivery perspective, over the past several years, there has been several improvements in the delivery area. The entire country is actually 2-day almost free shipping right now. So there is very good grounds for growth, and Turkish e-commerce is expected to triple over the next 3 years. That's what's expected to happen.
So, Michael, Turkey's other on-demand delivery platform, Getir, has embarked upon a shopping spree overseas, soon to operate in Spain and Italy, in addition to a few big European cities. Why would locals, in your opinion, prefer an outsider while shopping? And how could, if there is, good-seated assumptions and prejudices be overcome? Maybe you can talk about this alien thinking process.
Well, I think, consumers are looking at different things when they're choosing a provider. They're looking at low prices. They're also looking for great experiences. And I think they'll go with a company that has those and also a strong platform. And if Getir does that better than local competitors, then I think it has a very good chance of competing successfully in other European countries outside of Turkey.
So, and on the other hand, Emre, all these prominent Turkish companies or platforms, after their acquisitions, keep their original names same. Why?
Well, they both internally and externally, they don't feel the need to rebrand, and they are catchy names, right? So, and in e-commerce, names don't necessarily have to mean much. And Getir is a catchy name. It's phonetic. Turkish is a phonetic language, so it's read as you speak it. So, they don't need to rebrand. And from a strength perspective, they have enough of a local market trial. They have tried several business models in the Turkish market that when they go abroad, they actually go with very proven business models.
So, I mean, some are not very catchy though, but Michael, could consumers in Europe be put off by a company that has an unfamiliar name? Not like Getir maybe, but others.
Well, I think I think your other guest is right. Names don't matter maybe as much as they used to, but it has to be a name that people can say, right? There's familiar to them enough that they can understand, what it means, and they can pronounce it. But beyond that, we're getting more and more used to kind of funky, unusual names in the companies we do business with. It's just not as a big a barrier that it may have been in the past.
All right, gentlemen, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining us on Strait-Talk. And that's all for this edition of Strait-Talk with me, Ayşe Süberkaş. If you've got any comments, follow us and tweet us at Strait-Talk TRT. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, take care and goodbye.